you maximize the opportunity that you have toward a high quality education. And I take responsibility for being the provider of that experience for children. And for me, it's a very, very personal thing, a mission in a way that I have to.
Can you tell us a little bit about the atmosphere of your classroom?
Sure. I think there's always the atmosphere you want, and there's the actual atmosphere. So right now, well, on my best days and my best years, the atmosphere that collectively myself and my students have been able to create is one that feels like a community, and I use that word in its purest form, where people work together to define and practice norms and establish expectations for one another, and they operate uh, in this with a code that uh, ensures that they all look out for one another. So my best atmosphere has been one where we all looked out for one another, and um, we worked as a pack. We worked as students and teachers worked as a team, and it felt like a family that had some bad days, but most of the days were very good, happy, joyful, and productive days. And so the atmosphere was a place, basically in the classroom, a place that was where there was freedom of expression, where there was most importantly safety for each child's voice, and there was opportunity for each child to be heard. On my worst days, um, my non-ideal, where I fell short of my own ideal, uh, is where some there are some students to whom I cannot reach out to for whatever the reason may be. And For most of the students, I'm able to build a relationship, and the class is going fine. Things are going great. It's warm, it's safe. Learning seems to be happening when kids are engaging in every task I put in front of them. Um, but then there are few students with whom I'm unable to connect, and those are moments that are most challenging for me, when I have to figure out, kind of like get out of my skin to experiment with other ways of engaging and interacting with children to build a better relationship with them. And I think lastly, I would say, in any uh, classroom atmosphere, I think what uh, I like to enshrine the most is um, shared responsibility and mutual respect. And it takes a long time to establish that sometimes, but my current environment, I think, is one where there is a sense of mutual respect, and there is a sense of shared responsibility. We share things, and academics are. Um, I'm a. I focus very much on academics, and I think the pathway to getting making academic progress is through relationship building. Absolutely. In my classroom, however, I strive for just high performance in academics. There's no negotiation around what my expectation is for you, in terms of what I expect you to engage with and learn. So there's no excuses in that way, but at the same time, trying to balance the social emotional part of it.
Mhm. I'm really glad that you shared the good and the bad days. Nothing's perfect, right? No
Mm-mm.
classroom is perfect, no person
Yeah.
is. It's also great that you have these high expectations, because I think it allows the kids to understand accountability and that responsibility. Is that the main reason why you have these lawful and high goals?
Yeah, I feel I also teach in a underprivileged neighborhood, a low income community, and it's I think sometimes, it is possible for teachers to fall in this mindset of there's a lot going on and there are a lot of challenges, and therefore we should make some concessions. And I'm for concessions of any kind, really, as long as the child still has access to what every other child has access to in terms of the academic rigor, the challenge, the academic expectations, and an expectation for uh, achievement and lifelong learning. So I that's one of the reasons I don't compromise on that, because I don't think um, it's all the more important when you come from a more humble background that you maximize the opportunity that you have toward a high quality education. And I take responsibility for being the provider of that experience for children. And for me, it's a very, very personal thing, a mission in a way that I have to create those conditions for my children, because I'm responsible for that. If they're having an experience in my classroom where they are not being pushed or challenged, or they're not feeling like they're doing stuff, they're involved in activity that is enriching, then I'm failing, really, because I have a bigger responsibility being in a community where uh, teachers with high expectations are needed more. So I feel personally responsible for that.